Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Jaylene and this is Jay's Journey. Today I'm going to be sharing with you how I got into UCLA and UC Berkeley as a transfer student. If you like what you see, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let's get right into it. Alright, so this video is going to be split up into a few different sections. First, I'll give you a background of who I am, what my journey has been. Then I'll go into my application. I'll start off with stats, and then into the activities and awards section, which will be split up into my awards, my educational prep programs, extracurriculars, volunteer experience, and work experience. I'll be sharing all of those things, everything I put in my application with you to help you out. Then I'll be going to the miscellaneous portions of the application, and lastly I'll be giving you my tips on how you can stand out as an applicant and just some encouraging words. Alrighty, so GPA. It wasn't good. It was not. I transferred with a 3.58 UC transferable GPA. My overall GPA was a little bit higher, 3.62 I think. But all in all, not a very competitive GPA. Aww. So I had 18 entries in the activities and awards section. I guess I was involved in a lot. So I'll start with the awards. I put four. Four of my entries were awards from speech and debate, a team that I was a part of for 2 years. In community college, it's called forensics. So I put down one local tournament award that I won, 2 state, and 1 national championship award that I won. I felt like this showed my commitment to the activity. It showed that I can excel in this activity increasingly from local, state, to national as a first year on the team. And yeah, I think overall it's just a really good extracurricular to have and to show my success in it. The last award that I put in the awards section was the president's list. I know to some students this might be like, oh my gosh, I make the president's list every semester, but I didn't. So this was intentional. I debated on putting it or not, but I felt like it could highlight that I improved in my grades. I improved that semester, and it showed that it was a little victory for me, and I was proud of it. I got a 4.0 that semester, something that I had never achieved in my entire community college career, and I felt like it was something that should be highlighted. So I put it. Moving on to the educational prep program section of the UC application. I'm looking down because I wrote down notes and I want to make sure that I get everything to you guys. So, yeah. Alright, so I put down, it's called UCLA Community College / Site. So this is a program called CCCP, hosted by UCLA's AAP program. It's geared towards underrepresented, undocumented, first generation, low income students, which I meet the criteria. And basically when I was a part of it, it was over Zoom. So they host webinars. I forgot if it's either monthly or quarterly. You get paired with a mentor. They're able to help you throughout the entire application process, before, during, and after, throughout the year that you're applying. They hold PIQ boot camp sessions, and a lot of just like inspirational speakers, people of color, things like that. So if you meet the criteria, it's open to any community college student. Just apply. I highly encourage it. Second, I put the honors program. So I highlighted this because I think it shows that I challenge myself academically. I'm able to meet that level of rigor that honors programs kind of add. And I think it just shows my interest in academics in general and shows that I completed this certification. And then my last educational prep program, I put the Project RAISE URE, which stands for Undergraduate Research Experience. This was hosted by Cal State Fullerton. This was the first summer of my community college experience. This is a STEM program. Again, it's steered towards low income, first generation, people of color. Moving on to extracurriculars, I put just one extracurricular, and that was forensics, also known as speech and debate. Here I highlighted that I was a second year on the team, that I mentored first year students. I think all of this showed my commitment to the program, it showed my competitive nature, and it showed just my passions and what I really love to do. Moving on to volunteer experiences. So here I had 5 different entries. So the first one was I volunteered as an administrative leader for my local church. This counts as volunteer experience because I'm not getting paid for this, and I think it just showed my commitment to my church and my ministry and what I believe in. It also highlighted my leadership skills, it highlighted my organization skills, it highlighted being able to work in a team. So I felt like that was a pretty strong one. Then I also put down that I moved to Cape Town, South Africa in a missionary and leadership training program. Here I highlighted that I moved there to get closer to God through readings, teachings, prayer, things like that. I also highlighted that I was able to evangelize in a foreign country, get to know the people of that country, that I was able to be a part of a church plant out there, and that I also learned leadership skills and gained leadership positions while over there. I think all of this was very strong for my application. Next, I put that I volunteered at the UCLA Ronald Reagan Hospital. Here I volunteered as a wayfinder, which basically I'm helping people find their place around the hospital and to their cars. So in retrospect, it's not really that great, but again, it showed that I had an interest in medicine or an interest in that. At the time, I thought it was super cool because it's like, OMG, the UCLA Ronald Reagan Hospital. It's beautiful, by the way. So again, I just highlighted that it fortunately showed me like what I did not want to do. So yeah. My fourth one is actually really cool, and if you have the time or you have the opportunity to volunteer for this program, I highly suggest you do it. It's called the Prison Education Program, also known as PEP. It's run by Reese, I forget his last name, at Cal Poly Pomona, and it's phenomenal. It's one of the reasons why I ended up switching my majors. You get to volunteer tutoring for 7 weeks per semester, inmates at different institutions in Southern California. So I volunteered at CIW, a women's prison, where I was a part of a team of 3 or 4. We collaborate, we create weekly educational plans, and we basically tutor the inmates for these 7 weeks. They get certifications for it, and it's really cool. You get to talk to them, and I highlighted in this section that more than anything besides volunteering and being a part of a team and a leader, all of that stuff, more than anything, it humanized the criminal justice system for me, which I think was huge for me. So yeah, that's that one. And the last one that I put was I volunteered as a judge for Speakorama, which is an event put on at my community college through the communications program. It gives Speech 1A students the opportunity to showcase their speech that they work on in class for a cash prize. And so here I got asked to be a judge, and I think it just showed my, I guess, seniority in this competitive kind of sector, and it showed that I can identify potential talent, and I also highlighted that it helped me see from a judge's perspective, which can help me in future tournaments, which I thought was pretty cool. So that's the end of the volunteer experience section, and now moving on to the work experience. So here I highlighted 4 jobs that I held throughout the past 3 years. The first one was Bank of America, that I worked while I was still in Las Vegas before I moved to California. I think this shows a lot. I don't know, being a teller, I feel like it shows maturity, being able to get a job like this and hold it. So yeah. Next, I put In-N-Out, which I still work at. Anyways, back to what I was saying. So yeah, In-N-Out, I think overall, they just have a great rep for hiring great people. JK, but seriously. Yeah, I put that since I worked there for 3 years and it took up the bulk of my time. I also put that I worked at Starbucks. Even though I worked there for a short amount of time during the summer, I wanted to highlight that I worked there simultaneously while working at In-N-Out, that I worked 2 jobs at once. And the last one, I got an on-campus job at the Accessible Technology Center at Mount Sac, which was my 3rd job at the time. I worked 3 jobs for like 1 month during school, so also wanted to highlight that. So that wraps up my entire activities and awards section. That's everything that I put on my application. Yeah, it's a lot, but that's me. So I did want to highlight miscellaneous portions of the application, such as the additional comments section. So I'll first be going into, there's a section called the work earnings section. They ask you what you used your money on, which I think is really interesting. So I love this because it showed that I was an adult. No, really. Since I moved out to California on my own, all of my money basically went towards bills, rent, and living expenses. I never really had money to spend leisurely. Like, if you know me, you know I don't go shopping. So yeah, I highlighted that, which was great for me. If you use your money on things not like rent or things like that, I think just be mindful and be intentional with how you put that, because you are required to answer that question if you do put a work experience section. For additional comments in the academic history section, I talked about how I changed my major and that's why I have those W's. That's the only additional comment that I put. For the second additional comment section under the PIQs, I didn't add anything because I felt like everything was told. I told everything that needed to be spoken about. I felt like everything that I wanted them to know about me was said. With that being said, I'm going to give some final closing tips and encouragement for anyone out there that's applying or thinking about applying. Okay, tip number 1, tell a story. I'll say it again, tell a story. And what I mean by that is the reviewers are looking at your application holistically, meaning they're not just going to take you because you have a 4.0 GPA or because you have stellar PIQs. They want to know you as a person. They understand that you're human. They understand that things happen. But they just want to know, how are you going to contribute to UCLA? Are you going to be able to keep up here? Are you going to be able to add something to our campus? And you really want to highlight that you're passionate about something, that you have leadership skills or you have leadership potential, that you have people skills, that you work hard, that you get back up when something hits you down. So tell a story. I think that was what I think made my application, is that everything made sense. From starting out in Las Vegas to moving to California, from starting as a STEM major to switching. I think a lot happened in my story, but I made it make sense to a point where it told a story and it let them know who I was and what got me to where I am and why it's important that I get into these schools and why I should be there, that I deserve to be there. So yeah, that's my greatest advice, is look at your application, and if you look at it from a point of view that you don't know you at all, and you read it and you can see a clear story, then you're doing great. Second tip is to highlight leadership as much as you can. So personally, I feel like I never really held a leadership position while in community college. I was involved in a lot, but I wasn't like president of any club. I didn't start a club. Like, I wasn't even an officer of anything. So I did highlight where I have leadership potential. I did hold a pretty strong leadership role while in South Africa. But other than that, really nothing else. So I did highlight things like I was a mentor to first year students in forensics, or I collaborated with teams and things like that, to highlight that I have potential for leadership, because I feel like that's something that is just, it's a strong thing to put and what they're looking for. Next, every application is different. So don't look at my application and think that you also have to have 18 different entries, because you certainly do not. Some of my friends here at UCLA, I've read their applications. Literally, one of my friends only has 2 entries and she got in. Like, everyone's different. I think you know you best, and try your best, and as long as you're passionate about it, do it. Like, don't waste your time doing things that you're just trying to ramp up your resume. Honestly, do what you love, and it won't feel as grueling. Next, everything can be explained. So plan ahead. If you're just starting out at community college, plan ahead. What kind of story do you want to tell? What do you want to do? Get involved, research. Everything can be explained, even an F on your transcript can be explained. So, and my last and final tip is, don't count yourself out. If you are counting yourself out, then, I mean, you really have no chance. So if you have a low GPA, if you feel like you don't have enough extracurriculars, if you feel like you don't have enough leadership, whatever the case may be, don't count yourself out. I know it can be discouraging sometimes when you're in the trenches and you're failing your classes, but don't give up. Don't count yourself out. Put your name in the hat. Anything can happen. Anything is possible. I think one of the biggest things that got me to where I am is, number one, God. Putting my faith and trust in Him, but letting that faith seep over into my own beliefs in myself. I didn't really need everyone in the world to believe in me, or to believe that I could get to where I got to. I felt like I believe in me, and that's enough. And if God got me this far, He's not going to leave me here. So just believe in yourself. I know it sounds corny, but if you don't do it, no one else will. You can do it. I never thought that I could get here, and here I am. So I hope that this video helped, and I hope that it was encouraging to all you first gen, minority students, people of color, low income. You can do it too. You are special, and you bring so much to this campus, to Berkeley, to Irvine, to San Diego, wherever it may be that you want to go to. You can get there. So I have another video coming, reading my PIQs, and if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, come back for more. I'll be posting that one right after this one. So thanks for watching. Bye.